Thank you for visiting our channel. Please like, share and subscribe for more exciting food videos. Kimchi Jjigae, a complete guide to Korea's favorite comfort food. Warm, spicy, and deeply satisfying, Kimchi Jjigae is more than just a stew, it's a staple in Korean homes. Packed with bold flavors and simple ingredients, it's the ultimate comfort food for chilly nights or when you crave something hearty. Loved for its mix of tangy kimchi, savory broth, and tender proteins, this dish has won hearts far beyond Korea's borders. Whether you're a long-time fan or trying it for the first time, there's something magical in every bite. The history and cultural significance of Kimchi Jjigae. Kimchi Jjigae is more than just a pot of stew simmering on the stove, it's a dish steeped in history and cultural meaning. For Koreans, it's a symbol of warmth, resilience, and the beauty of sharing meals together. To truly appreciate its significance, let's explore how it came to be and its role in Korean life. Origins of Kimchi Jjigae. Kimchi Jjigae's story begins with Korea's long tradition of fermentation. Kimchi, the dish's star ingredient, has been central to Korean cuisine for centuries. Originally a way to preserve vegetables during harsh winters, kimchi became more than just a means of survival. By the mid-Joseon dynasty, its tangy zest paired perfectly with Korea's growing love for hot and spicy flavors, thanks to the introduction of chili peppers in the 16th century. Kimchi Jjigae itself likely became popular during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. At this time, households began reimagining leftover kimchi as a base for soups and stews. Families, often working with limited resources, would stretch ingredients by simmering them together in a single pot, creating something hearty and satisfying. Over time, this make-do dish evolved into what we now know as Kimchi Jjigae. Today, it isn't just a meal, it's a reflection of Korean ingenuity and adaptability. Role of Kimchi Jjigae in Korean culture. Kimchi Jjigae is at its heart a communal dish. In Korea, food isn't just eaten, it's shared, bringing people together around a single table. Families often cook a big pot of Kimchi Jjigae and serve it directly from the stove, ladling steaming portions for everyone to enjoy. It's a dish that fosters connection while satisfying the soul. The simplicity of its preparation also makes it a go-to comfort food. Whether you're dining with family or meeting friends at a cozy restaurant, Kimchi Jjigae feels like home. It embodies the Korean value of jeong, which loosely translates to deep affection and a sense of bonding. Ask any Korean, and they'll likely have a memory tied to the dish, whether it's watching their grandmother expertly prepare it or sneaking bites with friends after school. Symbol of Korean food heritage. Across the globe, Kimchi Jjigae has become one of the most recognizable dishes representing Korean cuisine. For many, it's a doorway to discovering Korea's culinary heritage. Like bibimbap or bulgogi, it tells a story about the country's history, climate, and culture. What sets Kimchi Jjigae apart, though, is its versatility. It's a dish that changes with the seasons, the ingredients, and even the mood of the cook. Some add pork, others tofu or seafood. The result is always the same, a bowl of bold, fiery comfort that speaks loudly of Korea's approach to food, practical but packed with flavor. As Korean cuisine continues to rise in global popularity, Kimchi Jjigae has become a culinary ambassador. International restaurants have begun including it on their menus, and home cooks around the world are giving it a try. More than just a stew, it's a symbol of Korea's unique ability to turn humble ingredients into something extraordinary. The ingredients of Kimchi Jjigae. The secret to a perfect Kimchi Jjigae lies in its ingredients. Each component works together to create the dish's signature bold, spicy, and tangy flavor. Let's break down its essentials. Kimchi, the heart of the dish. Kimchi is the foundation of this stew, setting the tone for its taste and aroma. While any kimchi can technically work, aged kimchi, commonly referred to as sour kimchi, is the gold standard. Why? It's all about maximizing flavor. As kimchi ferments over time, its tanginess deepens, bringing a more complex, robust taste to the dish. This fermentation process softens the cabbage and intensifies the spicy, garlicky notes, making aged kimchi the ultimate flavor booster. Fresh kimchi, on the other hand, lacks the punch that Kimchi Jjigae demands. Using younger kimchi results in a lighter, less complex stew. So, if you're aiming for authenticity, grab that container of kimchi that's been hanging out in the back of your fridge. The longer it's been fermenting, within reason, the better. Proteins, pork, tofu, or alternatives. The choice of protein in Kimchi Jjigae is where personal preference comes into play. Pork is the classic option, especially fatty cuts like pork belly or shoulder. The richness of the meat balances the tangy kick of the kimchi and adds a hearty texture. As the pork simmers, its juices infuse the broth, creating layers of depth that make this stew irresistible. For those looking for a vegetarian or vegan twist, tofu is an excellent alternative. Firm tofu holds its shape well while soaking up the flavors of the stew. It provides a soft, creamy contrast to the bold spices without overpowering them. If you're aiming for a plant-based protein boost, consider adding seitan or tempeh, both of which pair beautifully with the spicy broth. Want to experiment further? Seafood like shrimp, clams, or even canned tuna is another popular variation. Canned tuna, in particular, gives the dish a briny, umami punch, making it a unique but beloved alternative. Whichever protein you choose, the key is to let it complement rather than compete with the kimchi. Broth ingredients and seasonings. At the core of every satisfying kimchi jjigae is its broth. Traditionally, the stew starts with anchovy stock or sometimes a light meat-based broth, like beef or pork. Anchovy stock, made by simmering dried anchovies and kelp, gives the dish a savory, umami-packed foundation. For a vegetarian take, water or vegetable broth can work just as well, just don't skip the seasonings. Speaking of seasonings, gochugaru, red pepper powder, is essential. It's the ingredient responsible for the stew's signature red hue and lingering heat. Adjust the amount to fit your heat tolerance, a little goes a long way for those who aren't big on spice. Garlic and green onions are also must-haves, bringing a fresh, aromatic balance to the dish. The boldness of the garlic complements the fermented tang of the kimchi, while the green onions add a touch of sweetness and crunch. Finally, many cooks add soy sauce or fish sauce for seasoning. These ingredients enhance the stew with salty, umami-rich notes, taking the broth from good to unforgettable. A dash of sesame oil at the end can also add a subtle nutty aroma that ties everything together. By combining these humble ingredients, you create the magic that is kimchi jjigae, flavorful, comforting, and endlessly customizable. That's it for part 1, folks. I hope you're as excited about kimchi jjigae as we are. But don't go anywhere, stay tuned for part 2, where we'll show you exactly how to make this delicious stew at home. See you in part 2. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.